Hey, this is Ken Finnan from Capital Advantage Tutoring. It's my job to get you past the SIE. So I've been doing a bunch of tests. I got a lot of good feedback when I took that test and let you guys watch me do it and how my effed up mind goes through process, and it does help. So I talked to Achievable and they're letting me use one of their exams, which is awesome. So I'm going to go through the process of how to set it up. If you like what they're doing, please go down to the link and buy the product. It's awesome. They even give you a free trial run for a little bit to see if you like it. They got the whole process in there. It's like, I don't know, like $70. And I'm sure there's a discount somewhere that you can get some off. Go my link, buy it if you like it. If not, just jump along with me. Now, the way we take this is how you do this. You see the question pop up, you hit pause. Try to answer it yourself, then hit play and listen to me work my way through it. That's kind of the way I do this, okay? You do that, and then on this one, you don't see the answers right away. So we're going to go through the whole thing. I'll know which ones I'm right or wrong for the most part. And at the end, we'll review all the answers. How about that? Let's go have some fun. Okay, so this is the Achievable dashboard. This is how it works. And you see all this stuff. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because then I want to get on the questions. But here, you click on a thing. I'm not going to go into it. Works well. Down here, if you want some tutoring, you use me, or you can use Brandon, who will write the questions. Great guy, really nice guy. Okay, back to the dashboard, looking at this. Here we are. Let's take an exam. Now, first of all, I just want to say, I want a little humble bragging. I tried this at 4:00 in the morning. It's going to be random. So it won't be the same ones. I gave it a shot, but I want to see something. I got a little bragging. It took me 14 minutes. I did it in 14 minutes and I got 2 wrong. So the whole goal is don't do that. First of all, I got to brag a little bit. I'm trying to do this. Give myself a little love. Okay. So here we go. Let's take our exam. Let's get it going. Okay, so we have 105 minutes. We have 75 questions. This is good. Let's go. It's going to be random. I have not seen these before. Okay, unlisted stocks that trade over the counter, OTC means over the counter, are part of what market? Second, fourth, first, third. Okay, so it's the first, second, third, or fourth. Let's talk about this. First market near is all the exchanges. Second market is over the counter. Oh, there we are. Third market is over the counter trading of listed securities. So what that means is securities that are listed, like on the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, are also trading over the counter. That's a third market. And the fourth market is institutional trading. So as I said, we're going to go with the second market for over the counter. Woo, next one. Okay. Peyton purchases 100 shares of stock at $118 and pays $1 commission. What's Peyton's cost basis per share? Is it 118, 117, 119, or 116? So let's go through this. So when you buy stock and you pay a commission, that counts towards your cost basis. So remember, cost basis is what you paid. So it's 118 plus $1 should be 119. Boom. There. A registered rep is approached by their friend who wants to raise capital for the small business. Okay. They just started. The friend knows a registered rep has extensive experience with securities and offers to pay them for their services. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to get the registered rep to help them raise money for their company, which is great. That's awesome. You have this expertise. You can help. Now, let's go through this. The firm is required to keep details of the transaction on record. Okay, fair enough. That's true. All these choices. The representative must verbally notify their firm. Written approval from FINRA is required for this action. Okay, so you do need written approval. Anytime you do either have a job or do outside securities transactions outside the firm, you need to let them know ahead of time and you need to get approval. So you need to let them know, you need approval, and the firm has to keep details of the transaction. So this is one of the few times I'm going to go with all these choices. I'm not a big fan of those, but that's the choice. Restricted shares are typically allocated through over-the-counter trades, private placements, exchange trades, or all of these choices. Okay. I'm not sure on this one, so I'm going to struggle a little bit. So I go, okay, restricted shares, that's usually when you're buying shares that can't be sold right away, like a Reg D or something like that. Oh, Reg D, it's private placement. I like that. See, it could be an over-the-counter trade, but I don't think that's what they're going at. I'm going to say best answer is private placement. Again, it could be all these choices, and I'll be embarrassed when I get it later, but I'm not worried about it because I know that I'm going to get enough right, hopefully. I'm not going to worry about every single question. Okay. Which of the following statements regarding preemptive rights are incorrect? So preemptive rights, that's for a rights offering. Okay. Rights offering are typically connected to additional offerings. Okay, I'm with that one. Rights offerings have little time value at issuance. We'll come back to that. The number of rights provided per share owned varies. No, that doesn't, because you get one right for every share you own. And rights have intrinsic value at issuance. They do. So let's say what's incorrect. Okay. Rights offerings are typically connected to additional offerings. I agree. The number of rights provided per share, owned per variant. No, you get one per share. Rights have intrinsic value. Yeah, because they're issued at a discount. So I'm going to say they do have time value. So they might, it's not that they have little time value. I don't love this question, but this is the way it's going to be on the exam. You're going to get questions that just make you feel uncomfortable. So I'm going to go with rights have little time value at issuance. Okay, what is the most common reason for market price fluctuations of bonds? Okay, tax law changes, well, that could happen if it's a muni. Conversion rates of bonds, no. Stock markets, no. Stock market and bonds are kind of non-correlated. They don't work together. Interest rate changes. As interest rates go up, bond prices go down. As interest rates go down, bond prices go up. Why is that? Well, if interest rates rise, you have this coupon that pays 5%. If rates rise, well, your bond is still only paying 5%, say, and rates are now 7%, so it's not as attractive. So the price is going to drop. The other way around, if a 5% bond rates drop, your bond's still paying 5% when everyone else is getting 3%. So your bond is more attractive, so the price will go up. So I'm going to go with interest rate changes. That's a big one. Okay. A 26-year 5% bond is callable in 10 years at 106. Okay. So 26-year 5% bond is callable at 10 years at 106. 12 years at 103, 16 years at 101. If this bond is called as soon as possible, which is in the 10-year, what is a call premium? Okay, call premium is amount of premium. It's what the issuer, not but the investor pays. It's what the issuer pays over par. We know par is 100 or 1,000, so it's going to be, let's go through the choices. $10, $60, 16 years, or 10 years. Okay, so call premium is not about years, so we throw the 16 and the 10 out. It's either 10 or 60. So it's not $10 because 106 is the first call date. That's 60. That's 1,060. So it's going to be $60 of call premium. Good stuff. Okay. An investor has how long to make their letter of intent deposit? Okay. So a letter of intent allows you to get a break point. I'm going to put money in, right? What happens? I'm going to put money in, and then I'm going to fill out a letter of intent and say, oh, over the next 13 months, we'll come back to that. Over the next 13 months, I'm going to deposit the rest of the money. So please give me the breakpoint based on what I'm going to put in versus what I don't. Now, remember, it's not binding. Both people can, it's not binding on the investor because they can always just go, I don't have the money. So I think I what do you call it? You buried the lead or blew the lead. I led with the wrong thing. Spoiler alert, it's 13 months. Good. Mortgage REITs invest directly into. What do mortgage REITs directly invest in? Okay, so let's go. Mortgage insurance, nah. Mortgage on single-family homes or mortgage on commercial property. That's where I'm flipping. Commercial properties. I'm going to lean toward commercial properties just because I think that's what they do, because I think mostly it's mortgage-backed securities over the single-family homes, as I'm mumbling. So I'm going to go with commercial property, but I could easily see it be single-family homes. Remember, nobody gets 100 on this shit. Good, okay. Registration by coordination under the USA, which is Series 63 and stuff like that, the next exam you all taken after the 7 or the 6, occurs in which of the following circumstances? So registration by coordination. Securities registered with the CFTC. No, that's futures and commodities. That's out. Securities that are registered with the SEC and the state. We'll come back to that. Securities that are registered with the state. No, that's a 147 or / qualification, one state only. Securities registered with the SEC, that's just the SEC. There's no coordinating there. So let's go with it. So coordination is when you can issue in more than one state, which means you have the states and the SEC to deal with. So coordination is when you're registered with both the SEC and the state. And if you feel I'm talking too fast, screw you, but slow it down. That's all you have to do. I think there's a way to slow it down. Which of the following is forbidden in public communications? Okay. So what can I not do in public communications? I can't curse. Okay. Sending a letter to a client without pre-approval. Well, okay, if it's one client, it's correspondence. We're good with that. A rebate offer for poor investment performance. We'll come back to that. Discussing general investing principles online. Yeah, people do it all the time. And comparing a product to the S&P 500. Okay, I'm okay with that in a way. There are times when you can't, but let's say general. So I'm going to say you can't give a rebate for bad investment. So if it can't go, invest in GME. The short squeeze is going on as we speak. And if you lose money, I'll give you a rebate. No, you can't do that crap. That's guaranteed performance. So I can't rebate an offer for poor performance. Okay. What is the maximum gain for a holder of a call? So I'm holding a call. I own a call. Max gain is unlimited. Max loss is premium. Remember that whenever you buy something, the most you can lose is the premium. They didn't ask that. I'm just putting my own shit in here. Maximum gain for a holder of a call. Hold means long own. It's going to be, oh, I almost pressed the wrong one. It is unlimited. Love it. Okay. Which of the following best describes trading ahead? Okay. Purchasing shares prior to a large customer order. Maybe. Placing trades prior to a market close to manipulate the market. That will be marking the close. Placing a trade prior to issuance of a research report. That's technically trading ahead. And creating an unnecessary middleman. That's interpositioning. So front right, technically, trading ahead could be other customer order or research report, but I go with what most people go with, that trading ahead of a research report. Front running is front running a customer order. Technically, it means you're trading ahead of a customer order, but normally trading ahead means placing a trade prior to an issuance of a research report. Think about that. If you know there's a research report coming out tomorrow that's going to blast the stock or make it great, you're going to buy it. If you buy the stock before it comes out, technically you're acting on inside information, and that's not a good idea. Okay, good stuff. Okay, which of the following best describes restricted shares as per Rule 144? Registered or unregistered? None of these choices. Unregistered shares, registered. Okay, so restricted shares usually means they're unregistered, which means you have a holding period maybe, and then stuff like that. So we're going to go with unregistered. Okay. Which of the following describes a debenture? A debenture. Okay, so a debenture means an unsecured bond. So let's find that. A short-term secured corporate bond? No. A long-term unsecured corporate bond? I like that one. I'm leaning toward that. A long-term secured corporate bond? Nah, that's a bond. That's a secured bond, like a mortgage bond, equipment bond, collateral bond. And a short-term unsecured corporate bond, which is like commercial paper. So I'm going to go with long-term unsecured corporate bond. Okay. If inside information is passed between parties and a trade occurs, who is subject to criminal prosecution? Fucking everyone is. That's a tipper of the TPA. Everyone in the line goes. Well, you go to jail, you go to jail, you go to jail. Everyone goes to jail. So both the tipper and the tippee. I think I'd rather be the tipper. I think tippee sounds like kind of weird. Okay. I would not want to be known as the tippee. Okay. A payout, to be fair, I don't want to be either. I'm just saying if I had to choose. A payout that must be completed by a corporation within 1 year is known as which of the following? Okay, so let's talk about balance sheet. So is it current assets, inventory, fixed liability, or current liability? Okay, so current in our world on the balance sheet, current means within 12 months. So it's either going to be current asset or current liability because we said within a year. So we have to pay it out. That means it's not an asset because it's a liability we owe. So it's a current liability, baby. Good stuff. Okay. According to Rule 144, restricted stock sold by an affiliate is subject to all the following except. Okay. So restricted stock usually has a 6-month holding period. Affiliates usually have volume limitations. So volume limitations and 6-month holding are definite. Do you have to do that? You have to follow 144? Yes, we do. So I'm going to say prospectus because prospectus is only for new issues. Love it. Okay. All the following are income funds except. Okay, income funds. Let's see. I'll probably get this one wrong. Okay, preferred stock pays dividends, so that's income. Muni funds pay income because interest, and money markets may pay. So let's go with a special situation. Special situation is like either a bankruptcy or a merger takeover or waiting for some sort of regulatory approval. So go with that. I'm going to go special situations fund. Okay, more speculative. All of the following are associated with the fourth market except. Okay, well, we went over this. ECNs, technically fourth market, that's institution trading. Institutions, yes, and it's over the counter. So I'm going to go with the stock exchange because we know from before that New York Stock Exchange is the first market, not the fourth. Boom. On to the next one. Quincy buys a 7% bond with a current yield of 5%. The bond is trading at, okay, so remember the bond, triangle, seesaw, whatever you want to do. So if it's a premium, let's start with the discount. So if it's a discount, it's always going to be coupons the lowest, then up to the current yield, up to yield to maturity, up to yield to call. So that's what you look at. On a premium, it's coupons on top, then current, then yield to maturity, yield to call. Remember, left to right, I always go coupon, current, yield to maturity, yield to call, coupon, current, yield to maturity, yield to call. Other word for coupon is nominal. So let's go back to this. So if the 7% bond has a yield of 5, that means the coupon is higher than any of the yields. has to be a premium, has to be a premium. So remember, so if it's discount, low to high, coupon, current, yield to maturity, yield to call. If it's a premium, high to low, coupon, current, yield to maturity, yield to call, and a par bond, they're all the same. So let's make sure I press the right one, premium bond. Okay. Which of the following statements regarding preemptive rights are incorrect? Rights offerings are typically connected to additional offerings. Rights have significant time value. One right is provided per share of stock. Rights have intrinsic value at issuance. Okay. Interesting that this is going to, so let's say, so rights have significant time value at issuance. I'm going to say that's no, and it's going to contradict what I did before, but I just couldn't figure the right answer. So I'm going to go with rights have significant time value, because rights are with additional offerings. You get one share, one right, and they have intrinsic value because they're issued at a premium. So they have some time value, just not a lot. And that's where it could be not conflicting with my question from before. Because remember, rights are issued at a discount, so they have intrinsic and some time value. Everything has a little bit of time value. And warrants are issued out of the money, so there's no intrinsic. Remember that. And warrants are long-term. Okay. In 2019, a 66-year-old customer contributes $3,000 to the Roth IRA. How much can they contribute to the traditional? Well, you can contribute 100% of your income up to $6,000 a year. Even if you have multiple IRAs, you can only put in $6,000. Oh, tricky, because he's 66. He's over 50, so you add $1,000 to it, so they can add $4,000. I was going to jump on the 3 and get it wrong, and you all would have laughed at me, but I caught myself. So over 50, you can add $1,000. So under 50, you can put $6,000 total. Over 50, you can put an extra $1,000 in. I love it. Now, also, it's a Roth. There's no RMD, which means they can put money in forever. A traditional, they have to stop at 70, stop contributing at 72, and start withdrawing. Good. Okay. Freddie Mac purchases what kind of mortgages from banks? Okay. Well, they don't buy subprime, and they don't buy. So let's go with Freddie Mac will buy all of them. I'll go with that one. Let's go with this one. So this is the way I think of it. Ginnie Mae buys FHA and VIA only. They're government-backed. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac will buy and conventional. Private activity does subprime. Okay. I could be wrong. Freddie Mac could be just conventional, but we'll go there. What party can potentially purchase shares at a discount from the POP? Okay. So there's a benefit of being a member of member. Okay. So if you're a member of FINRA, you get to buy things under the offering price. If you're a customer, if you're an investor or a non-firm, non-FINRA member, non-broker dealer, you have to pay the POP unless you have break points, and then you can drop it. But other than that, you don't get a discount unless you're part of the club, not investment club. Selling groups are FINRA members, so they get the discount. Because remember, they're going to buy it. If you watch I'll try to put it up here. If you try to tell my breakdown where you get to buy it below the offering price so you can sell it to the public. Okay. A bond is quoted at 108. That's a price. That's 1,080, right? This quote could be described as all the following except. I hate except questions, but they are what they are. Is it a dollar quote? Is it a basis quote? Is it a term, percentage of par? That's true. So dollar, yes, because they're using the dollar price. Term quote, because I've never heard of that, but it is a term bond. Percentage of par, right? So it's 108, which is 108% of par. Par is 1,000, so that's 1,080. I'm going to call it's not a basis quote, because usually a basis quote is a percentage. Good. Amory Professionals Corp performs a 4-for-1 forward stock split on its outstanding share stock. Just prior to the split, the shares are trading for 105. Which of the following statements is true? Sometimes you ever get what you're reading, you just don't realize what you're reading. It happens. Just reread the thing again. Amory Professional Corp performs a 4-for-1 stock split on its outstanding stock. Prior to the split, the shares are trading at 105. What's the following is true? Okay. So this action requires approval from the board of directors only. We'll come back to that. The price per share will fall to $26.25. We'll figure that out. Shares are more likely to be purchased by institutional investors post-split. I don't think. An investor owning 500 shares would own 125 shares post-split. So let's bring out the handy-dandy calculator, and we'll go from there. So let's say 4-for-1. I do 4 divided by 1. That gives me a multiplier of 4. So I would multiply, if they owned 500 shares, I would multiply that times 4. That would give me 2,000 to D is out. But I also take the market price of 105 and divide it by 4, and that gives me 26.25. So that would work. So the answer is going to be B as in boy, because when you have a split, this is what I do. I take the first number, divide by the second, I get my number. That's my multiplier. I take that number. In this case, it's 4. I multiply that times the number of shares. Boom. And then I take the stock price and divide it by the 4. And that's going to give me 26.25. And you don't need vote. You need approval from the shareholders and the board of directors. So I'm going to go with that one. Okay. They did say, and always double check what's true. Make sure they're not saying what's incorrect. Okay. Which of the following statements regarding preferred equity securities is correct? So what's true about preferred? Par value should be assumed to be 1,000. Well, we'll come back to that. They are suitable for investors seeking capital appreciation as a primary goal. No. These securities maintain prominence over all other securities and corporate liquidations. No, because they're after bonds. Most have a fixed coupon. That is the answer. So par value is 100. They are suitable for income, and they have priority over common stock only. So let's go with fixed income. They are behind bonds. Remember, it's secured, unsecured, then subordinated, preferred, and common. A 3-year 7 3/4 Treasury note is quoted at 9621-9625. So the 9621 is the bid, 9625 is the ask. The Treasury note pays interest on February 15th and August 15th annually. What is the purchase price of this bond? Okay, so first of all, when you buy at the ask, you sell at the bid. And remember this, if you see a decimal or dash in the quote, it is a Treasury. So Treasury means it's out of 30 seconds. If it's a muni or corporate, you'll see fractions. So we buy at the ask, so it's 96.25. We're asking 25, 30 seconds. So we do 25 divided by 32. That gives me 0.718, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm now going to add the 96 to that. That gives me 96.78. Now I'm going to multiply by 10. And that's going to give me 967. Let's find that 967.81. Boom, there we go. All the following can purchase an IPO except. So if you work for a broker-dealer, you're restricted from buying shares. So it's a one-up, parents, kids, and brothers and sisters. So let's go. Grandson, no, it's outside the one-up, one-down. Grandfather, grandson, grandfather, out. Father, maybe. Cousin, no. So it's always going to be one-up, one-down, which is parents and children, brothers and sisters, and their wives, not their nieces and nephews, not their grandparents, unless you're living with them. So I'm going to go with the dad can't buy. Remember that, guys. When you get the job, you work for there, tell them they can't buy IPOs if they're paying any of your bills. Okay. Which of the following best describes call protection? What's call protection? Let's go into it. The amount of years before a bond may be called, the amount paid above par to call bond. We know what that's called premium. A rebate earned when a bond is called. No, that's not anything. And a non-callable bond. The amount of years, so the call protection is the amount of years before a bond can be called. Perfect. Help if I answered it. Which security is most closely aligned with preferred stock securities in terms of characteristics, risks, and benefits? Okay. Which security is most closely aligned with preferred stock securities in terms of characteristics, risks, and benefits? Let's go. Let's see. Warrants are like more like a call. REITs are more like a short-term call. Common stock is on its own. Bonds, because preferreds are fixed income. They act much like bonds because they pay a fixed coupon. They have interest rate risk, reinvestment risk, all that stuff. Moving on. Okay. A customer of the firm tweets an angry response to a tweet made by your firm, accusing the firm of not fulfilling the promises made on social media posts. Which statement is correct regarding, or correct? I did that accurate regarding the tweet. The tweet will be considered a complaint. The representative may rectify it on their own. No fucking way. The tweet does not require principal oversight. Okay. And the tweet is not required to be kept on file. No, it's in writing and they did it. It's a new world. Tweets are complaints. Boom, it has to be handled. Which of the following is true of a premium bond? So remember, we went over this, right? So we know you can go back to the other one. So let's see, yield premium, the yields are lower than the coupon. So YTC exceeds current yield. No, that doesn't work because it's couped down from high to low. Coupon, current yield to maturity, yield to call. Yield to maturity exceeds the current yield. No, that's the same thing. We should talk about that. Yield to call exceeds the yield to maturity. No. Yield to maturity exceeds the yield to call. Yes, because it goes coupon, current, yield to maturity, yield to call. So yield to maturity will be higher than yield to call. I love it. Okay. Registered representatives are prohibited from purchasing which of the following? Common stock IPOs, bond IPOs preferred? No. If you work for a broker-dealer, and as everyone who works for the broker-dealer too, everyone who works for the broker-dealer cannot buy on common stock IPOs only. They can buy additional offerings. They can buy bond IPOs and preferred IPOs, because really nobody gives a shit. Bond and preferred IPOs, they come out at $1, they're going to be $1. They don't go crazy. Good. Okay. So common stock IPOs. A customer calls a representative and says, buy 100 shares of a tech company today when you think the time and price is right. What is true regarding this order? The order is considered non-discretionary. None of these choices. The order must be placed in a wrap account. The order requires a power of attorney. I'm going to go with power of attorney because not only are you choosing time and price, which is allowed without discretion, they're asking you to pick the company. They don't say specifically the company. They don't say ABC. If it's not that, I'd be surprised, but that's the deal here. That you're buying, I'm telling you, the customer is calling you up and saying, buy 100 shares of a tech company when you think it's right. They're not telling you which company, so you have to choose, which means you need power of attorney. What is an ECN? Just go down. It is an electronic communication network. Boom. Usually I should have done that. I should read all four, but I'm not doing that because that's an easy one. A trade for a GO bond will settle in what time period? This is easy. So it's 2 calendar days, 1 calendar day, 2 business days, or 1 business day. Everything is trades T+2, except for treasuries and options. Everything trades T+2, except for treasuries and options. So I'm going to go, and it's always business days on the settlement. So I'm going to say 2 business days after the trade date, T+2. Which of the following securities is considered secured? Well, debentures are unsecured, commercial paper is unsecured, and preferred is equity. So let's go with mortgage bonds. Remember, secured bonds, mortgage bonds, collateral bonds, equipment bonds. I love it. Hope I'm helping, guys. Try to stay awake. Wake it up, guys. Get some coffee. Okay. Which of the following parts of the margin agreement pledges a customer's securities as collateral for the margin loan? Which of the following parts of the margin agreement pledges customer securities collateral for the margin loan? Okay. Let's go with hypothecation agreement. We'll come back. Loan consent. No, loan consent is allowing your shares to be lent for short sellers. And if you're watching this in February 2021, you all now know what a short seller is. Options agreement. No, that's for options. And a credit agreement is just the whole thing. It's like listing what the rules are and the requirements. Hypothecation agreement. If you're older, I always think of hypothecation. That's Heinz Ketchup was anticipation song. Only older people would get that. I would say hypothecation because that means, remember, so the broker dealer is lending you money for the margin. They're using the shares that you buy as collateral for the loan. So we're going to go with hypothecation agreement. How often does the U.S. Treasury auction T-bills? I always forget this one. I have a brain dump. Weekly, annually, quarterly, monthly, but I'm going to say T-bills are going to be weekly. I think T-notes are monthly, and I think T-bonds are quarterly. I could be wrong. Look it up. I just know T-bills. A SAR is filed when a representative observes which of the following? A suspicious activity report. So standardized trading? No, that's fine. Day trading? No, we're good. Arbitrage? Totally legal, even though it sounds illegal. Are suspicious activities, hence it's a suspicious activity report. And you have 30 days to file it, and you're not supposed to tell anyone, and you're not supposed to tell the person you did it against. XYZ Brokerage Company maintains a book of customers that submit trade requests. Their customers' assets are held at ABC, who also processes trades for XYZ Brokerage Company. Which of the following statements is true? Okay. XYZ is a transfer agent? No. ABC is a transfer agent? No. ABC Securities Firm is an introducing broker-dealer? No, because they're processing trades. So they're more of a clearing firm. So ABC is likely the clearing firm for XYZ Brokerage Company. So XYZ has the customers, and they let ABC clear the trades for them. So that's why this is going to be that. A customer is concerned about an economic recession and a potential impact on our entire portfolio. Which risk does this correlate with? Okay. Purchase power is inflation. Regulatory is changing tax rules. Liquidity is not be able to sell it. Market risk is systematic risk. Boom, that's the whole market. A buy limit order is filled when the market price is. So buy limits are placed below the market, and we buy at that price or better, which is lower. So the same as a limit order price at or below. So limit works but it's not the best answer. So it's not above and it's not none. So it's at or below the limit price. So if I say I want to buy 100 shares at 50, I'm willing to buy it at 50 or lower, which is at or below the limit order price. I love it. Okay. Limits for business entertainment are what dollar amount? There is no thing. There's no limit on business entertainment. You just can't be excessive. Which of the following investments? Oh, by the way, on that note, gifts are $100. Remember that. Which of the following investments is most likely to be an underlying investment in an equity REIT? I never like these questions. I always get screwed up, but it's not ADRs. It's not equipment, not a mortgage. I'm going to go with equity because equity means you own something. Boom. That's I'm wrong. All the following are required to be obtained from a customer except Social Security number. Eventually, you have to make every effort. Address, of course, not a PO box. Occupation, you should try. And education, no, you don't need to know if they have a bachelor's degree or not. Okay. When the issuer's registration statement is submitted to the SEC, what starts? So we file the S1, that starts a 20-day cooling off period. Solicitation, no, you can't solicit. You can't sell it either. 10-day cooling off, no, it's a 20-day cooling off period. Wunderbar. Emery Company sold $425 million worth of product in the first quarter last year. It paid out $230 million in dividends to its shareholders. The difference, $195 million, is placed into a corporate business account. How would Emery's CFO categorize $195 million? Okay, so it's not. Oh, interesting. So we made $425. We paid out $230 in dividends. We kept the rest. That's what we didn't pay in dividends, so it's not net worth. It's not a liability. And debt service is what we pay the interest payment, so it's going to have to be retained earnings, because retained earnings is what I don't pay in dividends to the investors. Now, do you all, when you read a question like this, happens to me, I start looking at the numbers and I panic a little bit. I go, oh my God, am I going to look like a fool on camera? Because everyone's going to see that I can't do math. I can't add 2 + 2. But in reality, it wasn't that bad a question. So you're better off not freaking out. As I was reading it, I'm thinking I'm in trouble. But it worked out, but it's not that hard. So sometimes you're better off getting through the question before you freak out. Which of the following is an example of an elastic good? I assume something that would move with the economy, so I'm going to go with clothing, because the other things kind of are set. I could be way wrong. Okay. A customer requests for their statements to be delivered to their email instead of physical email. What must a registrar do? Deny, no, they can do that. Request electronic delivery, doing the firm system, yes. Obtain approval, you don't need approval. If I want my shit sent to me by email, you can just do it. So request electronic delivery, that's totally fine. All of the following statements regarding electronic communications in the ECNs are true except. ECNs are part of the fourth market, remember that? Yes. ECNs an agency? Yes, they don't use principal trades. ECNs are part of the primary market? No, primary market is new issues. ECNs are primarily utilized by a large institution. That's very true. That's a way for them to trade without having to directly use a broker-dealer and deal with them. So I'm going to go with they're not part of the primary market. Because remember, it's accept. Also, what I like to do tell people is when you sit down for the exam, write the word accept on top of the page. And then every time you see an accept question, take your hand off the mouse and put it on that word so it reminds you that it's an accept question. Again, guys, if you like this, you see it's achievable. I love Achievable, great, especially for the SIE. Still working out for the 7. They also have GRE and stuff like that. They do other things. The GRE, I think they have the NMLS, whatever the hell that is, but it's there. They have a couple kids stuff too. So they're building their portfolio. It's great. They have the SA and the 7. They're working on the other one. But if you like, I love them for the SIE. I'm probably going to do a Series 7 test for them in a couple of weeks, and we'll see how that goes. Okay. Which of the following covers a relationship between a broker-dealer and the bank for purposes of margin loans? So there's Reg T, Reg U, and Reg X. Reg T is for customer to broker-dealer. Reg U is bank to broker-dealer, and Reg X is when you go outside the country, you still have to follow Reg T. So we're going to go with Reg U. Okay. If a fund has 75% of its assets invested, no more than 5% in one issue, and no more than 10% voting power in any one issue, it is considered which of the following? Negotiable, convertible, registered, diversified. Okay. So I call on the diversified fund rule. This is obviously a diversified fund. So I just remember the 75 to 75, 5, 10 rule. No, you have to have at least 75% invested, no more than 5% in any one issue. And of that money you invested, you can't own more than 10% of the voting stock. of that company, because then you're a control person. A client of yours inquires about a primary offering of stock. They read about it in an online publication. What is false? An APO is a type of primary offering. That is true. Additional public offer, primary offering. Typically requires registration of offer publicly. That is a true statement. The issuer receives sales proceeds. That's true. An IPO is not a type of primary. That is not true, because an IPO is a primary offering. Good. Which of the following terms is associated with a defined benefit plan? So it's not custodial, self-directed. So defined benefit is either qualified or not qualified. Qualified means it's almost by a corporation. Non-qualified means it's not, or it's not under the ERISA protection. Defined benefit plan is under ERISA, so I'm going to go with qualified. Okay. When calling up, hey, you want to buy my shit? The representative must disclose all the following except the firm they work for, yes. Their name, yes. Their job title, we'll come back to that. The phone number they're calling from or physical address, yes. So do you have to give them your title? No, you can, you don't have to do that, but you have to tell them where you work. You have to tell them the name. You have to tell them with the phone number and or where the firm is located. And if you do the trade, you have to let them know how much you're going to charge them. So let's go with job title is not really required. Reg SP, super privacy, was created to protect which of the following information? Market manipulation? Nah, that's Reg M. Unethical practices from register rep? That's everything, okay. Non-public information on customers and investors from bad investments. No, so Reg SP is protecting customer information. That's what it's doing. All the non-public information that a customer has that you have on them, like their social security number or portfolio they have, what they do, what they don't do, that has to be kept private, and Reg SP requires it. Robin has held unregistered shares purchased through a private placement fully paid for 2 months. How much longer must Robin hold the shares before a public resale can occur? So she's held it for 2 months. Usually private placement is a 6-month hold. So we're going to go with 4 months because you have to hold them for 6 months fully paid. We're getting near the end, babies. Okay. I have a student in a little bit. Morgan Company has several currently callable bonds outstanding and has the capital to call one issue. Morgan Company has several currently callable bonds outstanding and has the capital to call one issue. So they're going to buy one. Which ones would they most likely be called? So the way they do it is you find the one with the highest coupon. That's the way I always do. So I always find the highest coupon. And it looks like I will call, because when you're paying off your debt, you want to pay off the ones that kill you the most. So I'm going to go with the 8.9. Could be wrong, and maybe I'm missing something, but I think that's the answer. The issuer is always going to call back the one that costs them the most. Now, some of them, they'll show you call premium. So if this said also the same thing, all these bonds, but then whichever one also has the lowest call premium. So if they show you 4 bonds and 2 of them have the same coupon and they're both high-end coupons, you pick the one with the lowest call premium because that costs the issuer less to buy it back. Because you remember the call premium is the amount you pay above par to buy the bond back. Good. Okay. Long puts. Long means buy, means old. I buy a put, I'm bearish. Buy a call, I'm bullish. So I'm going to say I'm bearish because I bought a put. Good. Which of the following just best describes the premium of an option contract? Amount below par? Nah, that doesn't make sense. Cost of the contract? Maybe. Amount above par? Par? No par. That's bonds and preferreds. Throw that shit out. Cost of exercising the contract? No, because that's freaking free. So premium is what it costs to buy the contract or what you're going to receive when you sell it. Boom. The OCC, Options Clearing Corp, is responsible for which of the following? Writing options? No. Issuing options? We'll come back to that maybe. Creating option strategies for customers? No, that's the register rep. And creating demand for options? No, that would be manipulation. So we're going to go with issuing options because writing options is the seller. You can write an option. I can write an option. Writing an option is the same as shorting an option. Love it. Okay. In 2019, a 33-year-old customer contributes $500 to their traditional IRA. How much can they contribute to their IRA? The untricky one. So they're under 50, $6,000 max. They put $500 in traditional. They can put $5,500 in the Roth. Wonderful. Which of the following economic events would cause the Federal Reserve to pursue a tightening monetary policy? That means you're trying to slow stuff down because we don't want high inflation. So flat economy, no, we're just going to let it go. Real estate market bottoms out. No, we're going to loosen because we want to get it better. A low GDP, we're going to loosen because we want to get better. High CPI. CPI is a consumer price index. High CPI means high inflation. We don't want that. We want some inflation, not a lot. So under high inflation or expansion, high GDP, that's when we're going to tighten. And tightening means you're going to sell treasuries and raise the discount rate. In what circumstance can a firm send electronic trade confirmations to a state and statements? It will, if the firm will reduce the carbon footprint, while altruistic, not true. Only if FINRA approves, no. If the firm is helping the environment, again, no, we don't care. If the customer specifically requests, you can do that. Those A and D are true, but it's not a reason. An investor's account shows numerous short stock positions on various securities in different sectors and regions. Generally speaking, what market sentiment does this investor maintain? Well, if he's very short stock, that means shorting means bearish. Now, let's talk about that because of GME shit. If there is a large short position, if you see an increasing short interest or short positions in a stock, that's typically a bullish thing because it's contrarian. But in this thing, short means bearish. Valentine is a customer of yours that makes $480,000 annual salary. Woo! They call you and ask to open a Coverdell. You should tell Valentine to keep walking because he makes too much money. They may make a contribution. No. They may make a deductible contribution. No. They may make non-deductible. No. They may not open the account. Boom. You make too much money. You're shut out of a Coverdell. And then really, you can only put $2,000 a year again. With the Coverdell, you can only put $2,000 a year in. So really, you're making $500 a year. You can do the 529. That's the way to go. Which of the following bonds is most subject to interest rate risk? Okay, so let's see. We'll think long term. Long and low, baby. Remember, long and low. So let's go. 26-year AAA. That's long and low coupon. 6-year Treasury note. T-bill, 25 days. That's super short. And a 15-year B muni bond. So I'm going to go with B rated. So I have a higher coupon. Let's go with the AAA corporate because it's long and low. Remember, the higher the rating, the lower the coupon. What best describes the dynamics of a secondary market offering? Shareholder receives shareholder proceeds. Yes, we'll come back to that. Involves a second sale of issuer on stock. Issuer receives the proceeds. No. So an additional offering is when the company issues more shares. A secondary offering is when a large shareholder or somebody sells their shares in an offering, so the company gets nothing out of that. Sometimes they combine them, but in this case, they're saying secondary. We're going to go with that. Okay. When a registered rep receives a written complaint from a customer, what do they do? Well, yeah, of course, they bury it in their drawer and don't tell anyone. Respond immediately to the customer? No. Escalate the issue to the manager for resolution. Send it to FINRA? No, we don't do that. File it in their records. Okay, well, that's not the first thing they do. But they do have to escalate it to the manager, and then it will be filed by the manager. So we tell the manager or principal to handle it. We lie a lot. Okay. Which of the following are creditors? Creditors are people we owe money to. Convertible preferred shareholders? No, because they're equity. Non-convertible preferred? No, because they're equity. Common shareholders are equity. Oh, bondholders. That's debt. That's creditors. Love it. Okay. The amount and value of annuity units in a variable annuity determines which of the following. Okay. So the annuity units, okay. The ownership level in the separate account, that's more on the accumulation side. Level of expense risk, no. The level of mortality risk, no. That, by the way, mortality risk is the risk that you're going to live for a really long time, that you just want to freaking die. Throw that out. I'm going to say, if you watch my video, I'll try to put it somewhere in here. If you watch my video on annuities, it explains that annuity units, they change. Variable annuities change in value, which changes your payment every month. I'm going to say payout. A prospectus for a closed-end fund must be delivered at what point? Only for secondary market sales? No. During the IPO and any subsequent sale, only the third, only during the IPO. I'm going to say, interesting. So I'm torn between B and C. I mean, during the IPO and any subsequent, because they mean subsequent offering or they mean sale. I think they mean more sales, so I'm going to go away from that. I'm going to say only during the IPO because an open end, you send an IPO all the time because it's a little IPO just for you. Closed end, they do one issuance, and then that's the IPO when you get the prospectus. Good. That's it. I answered them all. Let's see how I did. Drum roll, 96. How many did I get wrong? What the hell? Let's find out. Let's see where we screwed up. Government debt. How did I script government debt and common stock? That's horrendous. Okay, let's do this. Okay. That one I got right. Got what I got right? Ooh, okay. Oh, I screwed that up. I meant it. Okay. So let's go with this. I disagree with this. So basically want to work. Oh, see what it is. I read into this. Okay. Okay. Oh, see what I did? See, I read too quick. You don't, no regulator never approves anything ever. I bet you guys are watching this and knowing I picked the wrong one and screaming at me. So that's why. So remember, so the firm is required to keep details. You do have to notify the firm. So I don't know why that's not a thing. Oh, because you also have to tell them in writing, because it's not just in my mind. I read the written approval as from the firm, and you can't do that. See, speed kills, baby. Speed kills. Okay, let's go back. That's my one. Where's my other two? Which of the following statements is incorrect? Preemptive rights are typically issued in conjunction with additional offerings of common stock and avoid. Okay, they have intrinsic value at issuance, meaning they allow a purchase of shares at a price below their current market value. Little time value exists given the expiration date is typically okay. So what did I miss wrong here? Hold on. So, oh, right. I'm an idiot. I said the right thing. See, again, what happens is you get fast and you screw up. So which of the following statements regarding preemptive rights is incorrect? Incorrect. See, don't make these mistakes. A is true. B is true because they don't have a lot of time value. Remember, we were talking about that. And remember, guys, it's okay to make a mistake. That's the thing. I make a big deal out of it just because I'm trying to be funny, but it's not that big a deal. Nobody's going to get a perfect score. Okay? It's funny. I did it quick and I got a better score. Okay. Let's see where else I screwed up. You never like to see where you screw up because it's painful, but you got that. Remember, that's what you have to, that's how you learn. The best way to learn is to find your mistakes and attack the weak. And my biggest thing is that I overthink sometimes. Okay, so here we go. Remember I said I wasn't sure. Freddie Mac actually can buy everything, but I guess if you want to answer the way FINRA says, so it goes like this. Ginnie Mae buys FHA and VA loans. Fannie Mae buys FHA, VA, and conventional, and then Freddie Mac only buys conventional. That's the way to do it. See, that's why you want to find out where you're weak. Okay. All these are right. You can see the answers. Guys, and if you like this style, I love this stuff, feel free to jump in the link and buy this product. And I said you can even take a little free ride for a little. They give you a free trial. I think that should be all the ones wrong. I'm going to be shocked if there's another one, but absolutely. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Look, and let's talk about this. The elastic one, I kind of didn't guess. Okay. Basically, if the price goes up, the demand goes down. So the whole point here is that if you have a good that goes up in price a lot, less people will buy it. But if it gets like school books and shit like that, we need that. Reg U, we got that. Diversified. Do I have any more wrong? Let's hope I had a good run here. Boom, that was a long bearish. Premium, we got it. I just want to make sure I don't give you any bad info. I think we're good to go. Looks like, there we go. There's our 96, okay? So it took us 48 minutes to do that, maybe a little less because I had to jump up and feed the dogs and stuff like that. But I think we did good. Hopefully I can keep this under an hour video so I can throw it on Instagram also. Guys, if you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, and share. Tell people. If you're in college, send it to your professor. Or if you just graduated, send it to your professor so that we can try to help people graduate, pay it forward. If you like the program, feel free to go down, hit my link on Achievable, but you get to do the free trial and stuff like that. Guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for sitting through this stuff. And have a good night and see you on Tuesdays and Thursdays.